Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.
Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today I have the good fortune to be joined by Deva Dalporto of mylifesuckers.com. Deva is the creator of the amazingly popular viral videos, starting out with What Does the Kid Say and the Let It Go Mom parody. She's gone viral over 100 times. Her videos have had over 350 million views, and the number's probably higher since then. She's been featured on Today's Show, Good Morning America, CNN, ABC, NBC, Fox, and pretty much everywhere else. Deva, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Hello.
Hi, it is our pleasure. So let's go back in time a little bit. How did you get started?
Well, my big dream as a young child was to be an actress. Of course, I didn't understand that basically meant moving to LA and hearing the word no all the time.
Yes.
So that's what happened. I moved to LA and I heard no all the time. And I finally, after I had my first child, I went to go shoot a tiny little part in a movie. And she was at home screaming because she didn't take a bottle. I was on set screaming because I forgot my breast pump, and it was just a disaster. So at that moment, I decided to give it up. And I got a job writing for Nickelodeon for their parenting website. And it was really fun and creative and a perfect mom job. I wrote funny content about kids. And I loved it, but then I got sick about 7 years into that job, and I went on medical leave. And it was at that time my husband bought me the famous video camera. It's like a really bad quality camcorder. And I shot What Does the Kid Say? I had an idea for it a few months later after my fury at him died down because I was so annoyed that he spent the money on this video camera. We made a video and put it on the internet so our friends could see it and our family. And it went viral. It got millions of views in the first day, which was terrifying.
Well, congratulations. And I'm sure the longer version of how the business has evolved could probably fill a book if it hasn't already. So after, what did you do when you got the, oh my God, I have millions of hits? What happened next?
Well, first I hid in my kitchen. I remember crouching down next to the sink when I was doing dishes, just terrified. It was so early on, there were no other like mom video creators. So I didn't even know it was a thing. There weren't influencers yet.
Right.
It wasn't a business yet. It was more like a fun thing of young people, unlike me, putting things on YouTube. So I didn't really do anything with it. I didn't know what to do with it. I started a website and a Facebook page. And then I decided to make another video about 6 weeks later. And that one went viral, the Let It Go Mom parody. And that was kind of all over the news and everything. But I didn't quite get it. I didn't even know you could get subscribers. And
I think everybody starts out that way, unless you've read a book called YouTube for Dummies, right?
Yeah, had I known then what I know now, I would have hit it harder. And my advice to anyone who actually really wants to do this, you need to be consistent with your content and upload more often. I didn't know what I was doing. It worked out fine, but.
Yes, definitely seems to have worked out fine. When did you realize, when did that kind of happen where you realized, oh my God, there might be like a business here?
Okay. So I know exactly when. I was approached about 11 months in by responsibility.org, and they said, we'd like to sponsor one of your videos. And they wanted me to do a funny parody song about anti-drinking and driving. And I said no, because I didn't see a way to do that. But then we worked it out, and I made a parody of Jingle Bells called The Holidays Are Hell, about all the stress in the holidays, which then leads you to grab that glass of wine. And just please don't drive when you have that glass of wine, you know, be safe and smart. And it was an amazing experience partnering with them. At that point, I kind of also upped my game and got a camera guy, because I was like, if I'm going to get paid for this, it should probably not just be me on a tripod. But I still do a lot of me on a tripod, even for branded stuff.
Well, listen, the good thing and the bad thing, one of the many good and bad things about the internet is everything stays forever. So for my first video was shot with a Kodak Z8, and I propped it up on the desk, and you could see me run around to the other side to get in front of it because I did it myself. So I'm sure we all have those types of moments. How has the business evolved since then? I know you're doing a whole lot of different things now beyond just sponsored creative content.
Yeah, so it kind of did turn into a business, which was shocking to me and everyone else probably. I got an agent who then was negotiating brand deals, and I ended up hiring the camera guy pretty often, and I had a full-time employee who helped me, and we kind of branched out to Instagram and creating, you know, funny side-by-side. I do a thing of like My Life Suckers versus the Royals or celebrities, and kind of do like my messy life and their perfect life. And yeah, I would say the biggest part of the business really has always been brand deals. Everyone thinks you make money off of the ad revenue, but in my case, especially since I was doing parody videos and there's the issues with
copyright
and songs, at first I made zero income from ad revenue. And then I met with the VP of content creators at YouTube, and I told him that at the time, I think it had 80 million views or something and no dollars. And he was blown away. He didn't realize that that was happening. And they actually since then have adjusted it. Not that I'm taking all credit.
Just a little.
Just a little. But now you do a rev share with the the original music creator or the record company. Yeah. So a little bit of revenue there, but
a little bit, I'm sure. Yeah. So you have been able to consistently be creative and consistently create content that many, many millions of people see. Where do you get your inspiration from?
It's always just been from my life, you know, and what was so fascinating to me was that when I expressed my life, the fact that it resonated with so many other people, and that the life I was living was a life very similar to the life lots of other parents around the world, which was so wild. We're all so similar. And I made a video, it starts out really sentimental. We're all moms, no matter where we're from, what we look like, da, 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 da. And we all face the same things. And then the video just ends with 10 women screaming, "Get your shoes on." In different
That sounds about right. We've had that fight.
Yeah.
We've got a webcam in our house.
Yes, yes. And that's a comment I get a lot. Do you have a webcam in my house? And I think it just resonates. I was always I'm kind of blunt. I don't have a filter, much to my children, now teens, chagrin. But I think just speaking my truth happened to be other people's truth, and then it resonated.
So you segued perfectly into my next question when you bring up the kids. How has your internet fame affected your family?
Well, my kids were so little when we first started, and we were actually talking about this on the drive to school this morning, which is really funny that you bring it up.
I have a webcam in your car.
Yeah, see? Actually, you probably, yeah, no. So they were talking about how, you know, I grew up with this. I didn't know any different. It's just our life, especially my little one. I mean, he was 3 when we started making videos, and we lived in a really kind of small community where everyone knew us as kind of the YouTube weirdos. So it wasn't, yeah, it was just kind of normal. And everyone's like, oh yeah, that's the Dalportos. Once they hit a certain age, I started asking for approval. And I remember my mom once texting me and saying, how come, your kids aren't in this video, or your daughter's not in this video? And she didn't want to be. And so they kind of gained ownership over it at a certain point. They just moved schools, and we went for a few months without anyone finding out. And then somehow one of the kids in my daughter's class found out, and I think they razzed her a little, but I think in a fun, good way. They're not embarrassed or mortified by it yet.
Yeah, it's the operative word, right? Kids will find a way. As they continue to get older, and that continues to happen. Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you do?
Two things I would say. The creation. I just love creating. That's my happy place when, the camera's rolling and, we've been going for 8 hours and we're going stir crazy, and then something wild happens and it's perfect. I love the creation. And I love the community. I think it's just been I've become genuine friends with a lot of the people who watch the videos and other creators and bloggers. And I think that's pretty awesome, because motherhood can be a very isolating, lonely experience.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about your creative process.
Well, for a parody, I usually start with a song. Sometimes I will start with a concept and then try to find a song, but usually it starts with a song. For my original songs, I will start with a concept, and then, and I always first write the lyrics. And sometimes my husband will actually chip in with that. He's good at it, and it's fun to do it together. Occasionally, he now refuses to be on camera. Speaking of how my family feels, he got recognized and mocked for his bad dancing a few too many times. Write the lyrics, and then I go into my closet and still have not upgraded from that setup, and I'll record the song, and then I just play back the song and then turn on the camera and act like a goofball. And it does drive other people a little bit crazy, because I don't have like storyboards or a structured, but in my brain, I know exactly what I want it to look like. So I just kind of, turn the camera on, do it, move. We go really quickly. I mean, the average video of mine has hundreds of short, tiny clips.
And then what do you think now, obviously being a mommy influencer, for lack of a better term, is a thing, and there are plenty of other people in the space. What do you think differentiates you, and why do you think you stand out so much?
I'm old.
Not a good answer.
I don't know. It's funny. I've always really, as the other creators came along, because I really was kind of the first one doing this, I just kind of have always stayed in my own lane, and I don't have a lot of time, so I don't watch a lot of other people's stuff. It's been really nice to kind of have, like, the Holderness family made their first video a week after I made my first video. And so we have kind of been on the journey together, and they have just exploded. And I am so excited and proud of them. But it's been nice to have a friend who gets it, and you can text each other and be like, oh, I'm being, giving death threats on the internet again today. And yeah, I enjoy the content. I saw something from Tiffany Jenkins, just a little meme she did this morning, and I find her really inspiring, and Christina Kuzmic really inspiring. And so I think it's great. I firmly believe, and I think in life in general, there is room for everyone. Just because someone else is successful doesn't mean you can't also be successful.
A rising tide lifts all boats, and there certainly are enough video views to go around. I would agree with that 100%. You talked a little bit about some of your people who inspire you, other folks on a similar journey to yours. What are some of the best books you've read or podcasts you've listened to that kind of have inspired or affected your life or your business?
So I just actually posted a thread on Facebook about what is a book that has changed your life. For me, Cheryl Strayed's Tiny Beautiful Things. She used to answer an advice column on the Rumpus, and the advice is just so real and raw and authentic, and it's kind of all what I'm about. I actually bumped into her once and was so fangirl and excited, and she was like, do I know you, or are you just a fan? And I was like, oh, I'm just a fan. So that was awkward, but I love that book. What was the other question?
Any other podcasts or things that you listen to?
So I'm obsessed with This American Life, and I always have been. And in my early 20s, I was so obsessed with This American Life that I created like a 70-page document of all my ideas and how it was perfect to work for their show. Do you hear me, Ira? And sent it off to Chicago and never heard back. And I'm still devastated because I love it so much. I love storytelling. And I think that my work is storytelling in a little way, but This American Life just does such incredible stories and about real people. And I'm fascinated with different types of people and different types of lives that are being lived. So love it, love it, love it.
I think if you made a parody video of This American Life, they might pay attention finally.
Hello.
All right. Well, absolutely fascinating journey you've been on. Incredible story, an amazing business that you've built off of this and your creativity. You've kind of come full circle. You get to be an actress. You get to perform. You just get to play yourself.
Yes. Well, that's what I was saying. After all those years of no in LA, I finally got to say yes to myself. And I think that's the beauty of podcasting and creating videos and the internet in general, is that we can all just do it, as Nike would say.
Yes.
And no, that was not sponsored.
Awesome. I love the slip in. All right. Well, this has been Seth Greene for Sharkpreneur with Deva Dalporto of mylifesuckers.com. Deva, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for watching or listening. We'll talk to you next time.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level, but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.